Steven. I'm not doing my intro.
Go for it.
No, I said I'm not.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Why?
Dude, you're welcome back. I'm not gonna do my intro.
From 1 to what episode is this? 34?
34.
Man, 1 to 34. Look
Yeah.
where we're at. I'm over here admiring this new table. You got the new color that you just built out. I'm seeing this all for the first time. You got your bar over here all set up.
My bar.
Damn, dude.
See,
You've
that's
come a
why I
long
need
way.
Another camera so we could get the master shot and stuff.
Yeah,
it's coming
so you
like
can
Joe
see
Rogan,
it.
man. It's
Yeah,
coming like
it is.
It
It's
is
looking nice in here, and you got an extra chair over here, so you can have 3 people. Like, dang.
And then one day I'll have one right here for the 4th mic. That's later in the future. Maybe later in this year. I kind of doubt it, but I don't know. We'll see. But
Yeah,
I'm not rushing it. I like having 3 now.
yeah.
But yeah, man, dude, like I kind of want to know your perspective because even though I saw the gradual evolution, you went from you came here, you were the first guest. We're gonna talk about you first, but I gotta humble brag. So yeah, you saw where it was just a plain table, cheap mics. I mean, still cheap mics, but cheap boom arms. And now to this, man. Like, so I kind of want to, yeah, I want to know what it looks like in your head.
It's awesome, man, because I see a lot of potential, and I saw even back then when you were like, you know, something about you and your personality.
Yeah.
Like when you set your mind to it, you didn't know anything about video editing, anything about audio.
I was bothering you. I was like, hey,
like,
what's this? What's
just
this?
nothing. And then you were just constantly calling me, trying to figure it out. And I was like, in my head, I was like, man, he's persistent, and that's good because you were using that, and now it's gotten you to this. I can only imagine like the next set of episodes, or even when you move out of here and have a new studio set up somewhere else, it's gonna look awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I can't wait till you get like the soundproof.
Oh,
eventually, you're gonna build a room specifically for that.
For it.
Like,
I will say this,
awesome.
like, I'm gonna give a shout out to Zach. Thank you so much, because I am moving from this location to another one. We'll see how the show's gonna look like, but I shout out to you, Zach, for letting me use the space because, man, I'm in love with this bookshelf. Like, just with the brick wall, well, the brick backdrop and the brown.
It's a wall.
The wall, it's a wall. But the brown bookshelf, it just all looks so great, and I'm afraid that the next studio isn't gonna look as great. Oh well.
Well, next you got to scout that out when you're going through another apartment, or be like, can I imagine like a podcast in here?
Yeah,
you'll know.
Yeah,
you'll know.
But I'm grateful for this table. This table is gonna be with me forever, man.
Yeah, I like it. I like the color. It's like a darker mahogany, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like a darker red. Yep, awesome, dude.
All right, man. So yeah, welcome back. So for those who don't know, Steven, he's been one of my best friends for many years. He's day 0. He helped me. Him and a couple of friends helped me get started on this podcast. He's the cinematographer side of things. He was my first guest on the show. I recommend going to that episode and then watching this, compare and contrast, because I was the rookie. I'm still a rookie, but I'm a little better now. But so now we're gonna kind of revisit some old topics, but at the same time, we're just gonna shoot the shit. We're just gonna have fun. I didn't write down any questions. We're gonna wing it.
Yeah,
man.
Totally gonna wing it. We went to the gun range.
We went to the gun range. Let's talk about that. So
yeah.
So this is not your first time shooting a gun. This is like your second time, I believe.
I've shot so many times, like 5th time probably.
Oh really?
Yeah, my aunt used to be like a professional shooter.
Oh wow!
In Dominican Republic, she like won awards and like all these contests.
What?
And stuff.
I never knew that.
Yeah, she
That's
would
dope.
like shoot rifles and all that, and she would like win.
Yeah.
You know those like where you have to like shoot and go to the next target and shoot. You have to like run to the next thing. Yeah, she would win a lot of those.
That's so cool.
So that's when I first learned how to shoot when I was like 14 or something like that.
Nice.
And
I didn't
always
first shoot till I was like 17 or 18, somewhere around there.
Yeah, like I've always liked it, but I've always been I kind of sucked at it because I was left eye dominant, but I'm right-handed. So it was a weird thing to try to figure out how to aim, you know? I'd always think I have it, but because I'm left eye dominant, I would have to like shoot it in a different way. So I never really figured that part out until I got older. But kind of fell off the train there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
I've always liked it.
yeah, no, shooting is one of those things where it's perishable skills, just like almost anything that you got to do it frequently, in order to like get good. I mean, there's a difference
Oh yeah.
between getting good for like, God forbid that you have to use it for self defense, or if you're doing it for a sport. If you're doing it for a sport, obviously those people are in the range like 5 days a week at least.
Yep.
So, but for self defense, you try to get in like, I think you should like at least once every 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I own a firearm, but I don't go often. Like I want to, like I
I
definitely
can
want to.
tell.
It's mainly
No, I'm
time
kidding.
and money, but like yeah. So yeah,
It was fun because like we were trying to play those games and stuff. It was
yeah.
I had an excuse, but you didn't.
Yeah.
We put this target literally like 2 feet in front of us, and
6 yards was the
we didn't.
closest.
Oh man, that was embarrassing. And these guys were putting it all the way at the end of the range and just like nailing these targets.
Some of them were nailing it. Some of them were just not. I was looking,
Oh,
especially
okay.
the ones to our right. They weren't nailing it.
Well, I don't know. I was pretty embarrassed.
Some of them. I don't know who they were.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that I was gonna suck, but man,
I
mean,
know.
I hit one target I was pretty proud of. I was actually trying to aim at it. It wasn't a mistake or whatever. I was actually, it was the number 11 or whatever.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, it was like the
11.
smallest target you could possibly hit, and actually nailed it.
The smallest circle, literally, like it's
Yep.
like this small. I'm not even kidding. It's like that small.
Yep. And
Yeah,
we were playing that game, and I
you
won
beat
by
me by
1 point.
You
because of that.
beat me. No, I beat you. You beat me in that first game by 1 point. Then I beat you the other game by 1 point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just revert, like back and forth.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But then my embarrassing moment was how number 4 was like literally like in the middle. It's like literally your chest, and I'm pointing straight, and I'm pulling the freaking trigger, and I'm
can't
missing
point
it
any straighter than that.
and it was like below number 4, and I was like, hello, I'm sorry. So that was annoying.
No, I like that one time where you hit the exact same spot.
It went through
again.
the same hole.
The exact same hole.
The same hole.
Man,
I should get points for that. But
you really
that
should,
was,
man. That's hard to do.
Oh man, that was annoying. So you mentioned earlier when you came over about some gun topics. Did you want to talk about that?
I mean, it was interesting because I was just listening to like Joe Rogan and stuff, and they were talking about that stuff, and then
like recently.
No, it was like some other stuff. I was just hearing like some episodes, with like Pete something. I forgot his name, but
oh, Pete, the guy who's anti.
Super anti.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Yeah,
dude.
and I can tell his argument was falling apart.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
He was just not composed.
I recommend. So there's this YouTuber who I follow, Colion Noir. I recommend listening to him and people in the Warrior Poet Society, which I'm a part of. I'm a proud member. Shout out to Warrior Poet. Man, they have like some of the best information. But Colion Noir, that video, that interview, he debunks it like in like 10 minutes. He debunks it, and it's a great video to watch. But
it's just no argument, in my opinion. That was just so stupid. But yeah, I was like kind of just because I was going to the range and I was like trying to get familiar with like what's the latest controversy thing that's happening right now. Like
right now for Georgia's the constitutional carry, like Governor Kemp signed in. Then now, like you're about to purchase a firearm soon, and once you get it, that's it. You can carry it on you, whether concealed or not concealed, and you can. It's not against the law anymore. Me, I had to freaking pay into the government to get a stupid permit that's worth nothing now.
Yeah.
But
but that was good because I had no idea what it was. Like I didn't know much of what was happening lately. I just kind of heard a lot of people just whining. It's like, oh, get him off the streets. It was just nobody really had an argument. They were just like pissed off. I don't know. So I just wanted to see what was going on, and those kind of videos popped up, and I was just listening, and I was like, man, this guy has no argument.
No. and oh, man, like it's funny because one thing I hate about gun topics specifically, and it's like people are like, oh, I can tell what political side you're on just from that, and it's like, No, first off, no, you can't, and it shouldn't even be a political thing. A gun's just a tool. Like, who
Yep.
here wants to like
They're blaming those big, the mass shootings and everything on the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if the gun wasn't there, then it wouldn't have happened. Okay, but what about the person who used that gun?
Yeah.
Like, he probably would have used something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's
Like,
so
he's
many...
just mentally messed up. It would have happened either way. If it wasn't for that, he probably would have drove a truck into people.
And
it
that
doesn't
has
matter.
happened.
He's messed up in the head.
That has happened, and actually there was a one incident that happened. I think it was last year in Wisconsin, where a dude used his car to run a bunch of people over, and it was on the news for like 2 days. No one wants to talk about that because it wasn't done with a gun.
Again, same thing. It's a tool.
It's a tool.
And they're you're gonna blame the car for that? No, you're gonna blame the person. And just, I don't get why everyone just blames that. And then you see all these situations like with the schools and all that, and most of those situations probably could have been half of the casualties that happened if people were allowed to carry. Like, actually, like, mentally stable people were allowed to carry, and probably would have stopped that person. You know what I mean? Or
because the argument you hear, especially for that with schools, is that like, oh, that we should have like armed guards and stuff like that. And there's two arguments you would hear. One is we shouldn't need to have armed guards in school.
In a perfect world, that'd be great.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I would say. Yeah. Listen, we all agree.
I would love to live in that fantasy land.
That'd be cool. We all agree that you shouldn't, and you don't have to. Like, let's get this straight. You don't have to. Like, if I was in charge of a school, it's just there are these added things you can do to your school for added security, for better resources. Because there are schools, like even public schools, you're still wanting I imagine it's still like a business. Like, you want people to choose your school and have parents move to the school district because they want to enroll their kids into your school. And safety is going to be one of those factors. It's just will. I'm not a parent yet, but I'm pretty sure that's, like, we could ask any parent. It's like, hey, is safety ever a factor? Yes. And a school can independently decide, you know what, I want armed guards. They're done.
It would just be like, I don't know. Again, it's. I think it should be more blamed on the mental instability, like just the mental side of things, more than the actual tool. Which I feel like everyone's just going towards, like, oh, it's the people, they use a fucking sword if they, you know what I mean? Like, God, yeah. It doesn't matter. It's all tools, you know?
No.
So that's what I was hearing during those videos I was watching. I was like, this is just stupid.
It's just, and you want to know what it reminds me of? Getting away from guns for a second. It reminds me of that same argument where, like, I don't know if you heard this as a kid growing up, with kids in violent video games. It's like, oh, violent video games is what's causing my kid to be violent. It's like, no, your kid's just angry probably because you're a bad parent and stuff like that.
You play video games all the time. You're not going out there and killing people.
Not anymore. I'm like proud and not proud of that at the same time.
What, playing video games?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like going out there. You can just answer that at the exact time when I said.
Not anymore. Right. I don't hurt people anymore. I'm good. Like, okay. No, I don't play games as much anymore. It's like I'm happy and sad at the same time. Like, I'm definitely more productive, but I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, it's good every now and then to, like, you know, get your mind off of stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I just replaced it with other things. But yeah, no. But yeah, it's that same argument. They think like, oh, if we got rid of the violent video games, then people would stop being violent. Like, my kids would stop being violent. No. You want to know how I know? Look in the past. Way before video games was ever invented. Like, I'm sorry, World War II? Even before that, like, the Roman Empire, they were still pretty violent. Guess what? Human beings are still pretty violent. So
then. It was a disgusting time.
Exactly. So, like, at the end of the day, guns is just a tool. Video games just a tool. That's it. Have people done evil things? Like, yes, can you do evil things with just about almost anything? Sure. And that's why you hear the argument, and some people just freaking hate it. It's like, you want to stop a bad guy with a gun? Arm the good guys with the gun. And they're like, oh, no, leave it to the police and stuff. And then once they open up that can of worms, I love it when they do. It's like, hey, do you believe we have police brutality, like a problem with that. They're quick to be like, of course we do. So you want to trust these people to only have access to guns and not us?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I mean, if I was in a chaotic situation, a big emergency, like the situation you were in, I'm going to pull out my phone and hope that person would wait. Don't shoot me yet until I call the police and wait 10, 15 minutes until they get there, then question, and then they'll stop me. It's like, no, sometimes you're in a crazy situation. Yeah. And you want to feel a little bit more protected.
There's a funny quote, 9mm will always be faster than 911.
Oh, that's funny.
It's true.
And I'm just starting to get into this world, you know, like this whole gun world and feeling protected and all that. Cause like, you know, I don't know if I was just the way I grew up. I don't know. I just never really wanted to have that.
I'm the same way.
Know?
I'm the same way.
Yeah, but seeing what's been happening in this crazy ass world, like, I live in Atlanta now, so like, you know,
that's what
the city life. It's just a little wishy-washy. I remember I was coming back from like a shoot that I was on, and I turned down this one street. It's called Mill something. I forgot. It was like in the heart of Atlanta somewhere. The sketchiest street ever. I mean, just homeless people lined up on the street, and then just like this one dude, you know, like when you look like you're carrying something in a jacket, this guy had his hand in his jacket walking around all shady, and I literally looked down to see if my car was locked because I was freaked out. Yeah. And I was like, why the fuck did GPS take me down the street? I'm never going. It's like Mill something. I'm never going down that street again. But at that moment I was like, man, I feel
was naked. It broad daylight or
it was like 6 o'clock, so it was still kind of sun outside. Okay. So that was still, you know, it was like less scary, but I can imagine like being out there after dark and just seeing that. It was sketchy. No. And there was a red light, and I was supposed to turn left, and this guy with his hand in his jacket was approaching kind of like around my car. I decided to turn right. I'm like, I'm not waiting here. It's like, I don't care if I have to turn left. I'm going.
Oh man!
So it's just weird. You never know. You know?
No, it's living true. In the city. It's better to have it. It's so funny when I started getting into it too. All the cliche stuff started making sense. It's better to have it and not need it and not ever use it than to need it and not have it. Yeah. You know, it's so freaking true.
Like in the video, the guy was talking about how home invasion, is it a real threat and all that. It's like, all right,
when it happens, yes.
And then he was like literally thinking it wasn't real. And then Joe was like, wait, no, this shit is real. It's happened before. You know that people have invaded homes before, right? Yeah. He was like, like it happens. Maybe it hasn't happened to you.
It just needs to happen one time to you to make you think twice.
Yes.
Like say
why? So you need to get shot at for you to realize like, oh, there's actually like stuff that can happen. Yeah. Like all it takes is one time.
And you know what pisses me off? Like I'm glad you brought that up, but like this just like popped into my head. This is what pisses me off, and it's just not with just the gun issues. It's just with everything in general in life. Whenever like something traumatic happens and then it gets resolved, people just listen. I've done this before. I'm guilty of it myself, but I have gotten better at it. Like I'm pretty sure you've done it too. Is that after a traumatic event resolves, you go up to a person and say, why didn't you do this? It's like, motherfucker, I was scared, adrenaline was pumping, like I dare you to think twice and stuff like that. Like it's just like I don't.
That's why there's training, so that way when you get in those adrenaline pumped moments,
you can try to muscle memory.
Muscle memory would take over.
Exactly. So that being said, when like so if something like that happens, like you know, doors getting kicked in or whatever, but like you know, the family's safe, no one got hurt. And then you just hear your friend go like, man, yeah, that happened to me. I'm going to get a gun. And then that one naysayer is going to be like, no, why didn't you just do it this way? It's like, no, I'm just going to shut up. I'm just going to get a gun.
Yeah. Like those people that look at the security cameras and like, why did that person do it? It's like, come on.
I'm glad you can think of this after it happened.
While you're sitting pretty with no adrenaline pumping and you can think clearly what's happening. Yeah. I'm sure you can come up with so many strategic ways.
You're freaking like, Batman. You're a master tactician. You got this. You know what? I'm going to call you next time.
Yeah.
I just absolutely hate
That's
it.
Funny.
But you and I lived together in Atlanta, and that's when I got mine because screw Atlanta. It just takes that one unsafe moment where you're just like, you know what? I kind of need to level out the playing field, so I'm gonna get one. And so then I did. Sorry, mom and dad. I just realized now they're gonna be like, do you own a gun? Yes, I do. Oh well.
Well,
how many do you own?
They're gonna find out eventually. They're gonna find out eventually, but. Same with my parents. We'll see.
When I went to visit you in Florida, I had my piece, and I was so proud to have it. I didn't show them. Like they didn't need to know because like in case something went down, I was gonna be like, "Get down, I got this." What?
It's gonna be a fun debate with your dad.
He owns one. I'm pretty
does
sure.
he?
Like unless he sold it, but like he owns one.
Oh,
yeah. Like
okay.
and I mean, I know my mom just doesn't like it in general.
Same.
But,
I mean, she thinks that like it's kind of one of those like you shouldn't have it around you because then you'll attract that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
That kind of
it's
weird
like,
like mentality. It's like no,
you want to know how I
doesn't
know?
attract you to get like what does that mean?
Yeah, I carry concealed. No one knows. That's it. I don't show it off.
No.
I'm responsible. That's the main thing. Is like you gotta just be responsible. And that's and kind of going back, like listen, we can go in circles and talk about like in the perfect world we won't need this, we won't need that, but like, okay, can we understand reality that we don't live in a perfect world? So like, every day. Every single day, except that one night that we were talking about in the car, I carry my piece with me everywhere I go that I'm legally allowed to have it. Nothing bad has happened. Good. Every day I come home and like when I like, put it away, I thank God every day that I didn't have to use it. They're done. Yes. It's over.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I have it. Like, oh my God, it's just, and what
I've been having zombie dreams lately. My girlfriend would say it. So Megan was like, I've been telling her about my dreams like a lot lately. Nice. And it's just been like a weird recurring, not super recurring, but like every couple of months or whatever. I think I just got an Amber Alert.
Oh, thank God, because like I heard the phone buzz and I was like, please don't let it be my phone. I guess I'm paranoid if the feed gets cut off.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're good. But I've been having like post-apocalyptic whatever dreams lately where it's just like fun. Like, okay, so I say the word fun because in the dream, it's actually kind of like a video game, right? So it's kind of like interesting. I'm like back in school, like all my old classmates are there and we're all having to like divide in teams and stuff. And the world's like gone to shit. So you have to like try to survive in like some building. Like I have weird dreams like that sometimes, and I was just imagining like, okay, yeah, of course, that would probably never happen, right? But like if I got caught in a situation like a post crazy world, whatever, just the world goes to shit, I'd rather, at least have the capability to slightly defend myself. You know what I mean? Like I have nothing. Well, I don't want to say that out loud, but you know what I mean?
You used to not have nothing.
Yeah, used to. But yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just it's the worst feeling, like just as like a person like living in the city, just to feel like you just are naked with that and hope that the world will be just perfect and nothing will happen. That'd be great to live in that fantasy world. But yeah.
Dude,
it's kind of where it came from, kind of woke me up a little bit.
Yeah. I remember hearing this one thing where like it just honestly just makes sense that if I wish more females did carry and shoot, I wish they carried outside, not even inside. I wish they like brandished their weapons and stuff like that. If that happened, imagine how many like douchebag guys you would get like to hit on you or like those creeps and stuff like that. Like you would repel so many of that. Like things would change. And I know I'm gonna get hate for it, but like
if they really want to repel it, they would.
Yeah, no, but, and I'm not. They don't have to. I'm just saying.
No,
like,
not in that way. I'm just saying sometimes people kind of like that attention, and they say they don't like it.
Oh yeah.
There's that. You know what I mean?
But man. Like what I'm saying, but at the same time, it's like I do want more females to carry, like even concealed. Like it's fine because I carry concealed. You don't have to show it off, but man, because I hear that all the time from some of my female friends. It's like, oh, you don't know what it's like to having to walk out at night and all that stuff. And I'm like, listen, I get it. But why don't you carry? It's like, oh, I shouldn't have to. Oh, I shouldn't have to do a bunch of that. That's not a good argument. Why don't you carry so you can feel a little bit safer? Listen, if God forbid, the night you're walking to your car and somebody does attack you or is going to attempt to attack you, even though that whole mess. It's still traumatic. But even when you pull out your gun and before you even shoot, you're telling the guy, hey, back off or I will shoot. And then he finally leaves, even though, okay, nothing bad happened. He walked away. You're able to get your car. You're able to go home safely. But that's still some traumatic shit.
Yeah.
But didn't it feel nice, the fact that you were able to defend yourself? You're able to look the attacker in the eye and be like, I'm going to win this. Like, there's no way. And I don't know. I'm just like, to me, it's just like, it's like common sense. But the classic argument you hear is like, well, I shouldn't have to do that, which I can go on and rebut, but I won't. But it's just like,
yeah,
it's just such a weak argument.
I mean, people are scared of it too. You know, they're scared of like having to defend themselves with stuff like that. So they're just like, I don't even want to think about it.
Shoot, even if guns didn't exist, and it was just knives, I'd be scared to defend myself. Are you kidding me?
Even just a fight.
Just to fight. Knives, just fist fight. I'll still be scared to defend myself.
Yeah, that goes into a perfect segue to MMA right now. So I'm doing a lot of like Muay Thai classes lately and a lot of kickboxing for like the fitness side too. But I've been getting really into like the Muay Thai like technique lately. I think
like
it's
the
just
hand part.
Yeah, I've been sparring a lot and like really getting into like the technique and learning how to move with certain types of people. You know, people that are taller and shorter and whatever. And I was scared at first, you know, because like I'm not the tallest dude, so I got to be like quick. That's my key, right? So if I'm facing I was facing this super tall dude this one time, and I was like kind of freaked out. I was like, how am I gonna? You know, he's just going to do a leg kick or a roundhouse and just knock me out or something, you know, in real life, you know, not in sparring. But this dude was going pretty fast with me, like way harder than he needed to for like sparring, you know. But I was actually defending pretty well. And once I got past that, I just like pushed it and realized like, all right, I'm kind of a little bit tougher than maybe like, you know, than it looks sometimes. It's not as bad as you think. It just like propelled me into that world. You know what I mean? And it was cool because like now I'm super into it. I've been doing it like 3 times a week now.
Nice.
And I just feel a lot more at ease with myself. And I wish more people would like experience that, you know?
Yes.
Like just push past that because I hated it at first, man.
Yeah.
I really hated that feeling of like you don't want to fight someone, you know? Of course, I'm not going to go out there looking for a fight. I'm not going to go out there looking for any kind of like crazy situation where I want to prove myself, you know? Like, no,
there's no glory, there's no money,
glory.
there's no trophy.
You winning a fight doesn't mean you won anything.
You didn't win.
You don't win.
That like, you stopped that guy and yeah, socially people around you, oh man, yeah, you kicked that person's ass. Yeah. You didn't win anything.
Yeah. You look a little tough for a moment.
That's not going to be on your resume. That's not going to help you get a job. You're not going to get some extra money from the government. It's nothing. It's just a social thing.
Unless you're a fighter and you're getting paid for it.
Yes,
that's your job.
Exactly. But even that, and what's funny, and I'm glad you brought that up, martial artists and fighters, they are the first ones that are going to tell you, I don't ever want to fight. Like, no. And then the people will say, it's like, oh, then why train at it? 1, it's because of fitness. And 2, just because it does feel good. And 3, to be prepared, just in case. It's just in case. But fitness and it being a hobby is like the first 2, obviously. But the people who are now it's not perfect. There are some meatheads out there that train, that are wanting to pick a fight, that they're instigators and stuff. But I like to think the vast majority don't, because they know what they're capable of. They don't want to fight a stranger. They know how bad it can get, and they still want a challenge. So they want to be able to pick an opponent in a friendly match, not some stranger. And it can get hella dangerous. But the people who are hot-headed, a lot of the times, where you go to a bar and they want to fight you, like, oh, let's go outside and fight. Chances are they don't know anything. That's why they're that way. But those who know how to fight,
even if they do, their anger, their emotions will get to them.
Yeah,
and they'll be
those
really
who
vulnerable.
know, majority of the time, those who know how to fight, those who know what they're capable of, they're the first ones that don't want to do it.
No,
For safety, they're looking out for you. They're like, no. They know I'm
It
gonna
brings
take you
that
down.
level of like inner confidence, that
Mm-hmm.
calm confidence that I wish more people would experience,
Yeah.
because again, it's that argument that people think, oh, if you do that, then it will incite that violence within you. You'll get used to like having that violence or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't for me. It
No.
makes me calmer actually.
Yeah.
Knowing that I can do that kind of stuff, learning techniques. What it is I see it as like a moving meditation, because you have no choice but to be focused on that, like purely. Because if you mess up or you get a little lazy with your hands, you drop your hands, you're going to get tagged.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to stay focused, So in a sense, that is like a meditation,
Yeah.
because whatever brings you to the present moment is a form of meditation. So that's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
When I was lifting, just lifting weights or doing a treadmill or whatever, it was just like, my mind would always wander. It was like I had just way too much temptation just to think about other shit. Whoa, I got to do this for work or whatever.
Yeah.
This, I have no choice.
Yeah, when you're sparring and rolling, your mind can't afford to wander.
Yeah. You have to be fully there.
There's so many factors that go in, but like you're right, like with a bench press, as long as you're like, okay, I can maintain this weight, I just have to push up and safely come back. You can kind of turn off your mind on that. But when you're sparring and rolling, you're going in many different directions. It's never the same moves.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're not doing the same repetitive moves all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bench presses or dumbbells or whatever. You're doing the same repetitive motions.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No, I'm not going to knock
everybody.
it because it gets you stronger and it's good for you in that sense. I still lift every now and then, but to break it up with something like that makes you focus, and it doesn't have to be MMA. It can be anything.
And what's great is like you're focusing on the actual sparring, on the actual roll, and you don't really realize it, but it is working out your body. It's almost like a secondary effect. You're trying to just not get tapped or not get tagged, but you don't realize that you're actually working out, like, because like I don't know about you, like when I'm sparring somebody, my goal is I want to tag this person as much as I can, more than they can tag me. That's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about like, oh man, this is working me out. Like, oh, I'm going to get sore. I'm going to get stronger. No, I just see it as a game. Like, I'm just trying to win. That's it. I'm a competitive dude.
There was this one guy that was like, in Muay Thai, it's like a technique where you grab the leg when they do a roundhouse. It lands on you. So you have to try to grab the leg and trip them, right? This guy
was the shoulder push.
Yeah, or in the shoulder push. You like trip and do. There's a lot of techniques that you can do. It's really cool. It's like a sweep technique. But this one particular drill, he wasn't supposed to be doing that. He wasn't supposed to be grabbing you and like sweeping you and doing all that, right? It was just like a back and forth, a simple back and forth. You tag. It was like a 1, 2, 3 high kick. Then the next person goes 1, 2, 3 high kick. Just back and forth, so that way you get used to the movement and you're just constantly a nice back and forth between the two people. And this guy was grabbing my legs like every single time. Like I would throw something, he would just immediately grab it and almost try to trip me. And I was like getting like, all right. And it made me like switch, like, all right, so this guy's going to immediately try to grab every single kick I try to throw. So I did like a scissor kick a couple of times.
I was thinking
and
about
tricked
it.
the shit out of him. He got scared. He like legit. He told me after. And I did like a scissor kick, faked him out, tagged him on the other side. And then I did it the other side too. And then I did a question mark kick on him. Like, and this guy was taller than me too. But it was fun to realize I had to change my tactics for that second. And in those moments, you have no choice but to stay focused, because it was like a game of chess. Like, all right, how do I get this guy? He shouldn't be doing that. But I'm not going to be a tattletale and be like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. You got to be.
You'll just punish him by example.
Yeah. So just like, all right, let's just go. I saw that as another technique or another drill that I got to like do for myself.
Yeah.
And that was fun. So it's stuff like that makes it really fun for me, because it's always something new,
Yeah.
Like whoever you're facing is always somebody new. Sometimes the same guys show up, but it's usually new people that come, and you have to like face new body types, and like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
I always like to spar against people who are always bigger and taller than me.
Yeah.
Just because, like, no disrespect to those who are like my height or a little bit shorter, but it honestly felt like I was training with weights on, and now when I like spar against somebody my height, it feels like the weight's off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I can, like, I've been so used to fighting doing extra moves, extra effort to fight somebody who's taller, who's bigger than me. Now I can actually take it a little bit easier. I know it sounds kind of cocky, but I don't mean it to. It's just reality. If you don't believe me, it's like sparring somebody your height, now sparring a little kid. You're gonna feel the difference. Like, you just will.
Yeah.
You don't mean it to. It's there.
Yeah. No, it's true. And so for me, like lately, I've just been focusing more on my own technique rather than trying to land more punches or land more hits on that person, you know, because
My favorites were always sweeps.
yeah, sweeps are cool. I mean, they get a little bit annoying.
I know, but they're my
trip
favorite.
so much, man.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Freaking just fall on your ass all the time. But it's cool, like me trying to focus, like, all right, he's tagging me a lot, but I can shell up and then dish out my own thing, you know. One, it's teaching me how to take a hit, you know, it's teaching me to keep my hands up. So I'm super used to it. Even when I'm hitting the bag and there's nobody around me, I'm teaching myself always keep my hands up, you know. Because even if I drop my hands for a second, it still kind of comes up naturally, you know, just whenever. So I've been getting better
using
at that.
the MMA gloves, right, instead of the boxing gloves?
I've been doing both.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no. Wait, you talking about the really thin ones, like UFC style?
Yeah.
No, I've been doing boxing gloves.
Okay, good. No, I was going to say that boxing gloves, they weigh more. So they're training to, like, keep your hands up.
Yeah. So if you ever do MMA gloves, it's like light.
It's
like,
so
it doesn't
light.
feel like anything. Yeah.
That's why if I were to advise people, it's like, hey, if you're just doing punch drills, don't wear your UFC gloves.
No.
Wear your boxing gloves and keep your hands up, because
You're
going to get tired
and
keep crunched and then dish out punches. Why? Tire yourself out. You're going to notice, you're going to drop your hands. Then when you switch to the UFC gloves, oh, it feels like feathers.
Yeah, it really does.
It feels illegal.
I take off my gloves sometimes, like towards the end of my own. So I do a class, and then after I kind of hit the bag a little bit just to have some fun. And I took off my gloves just with the wraps and just had some fun with that. And man, huge difference. I was like,
especially with just the wraps. Like sometimes I punch in those.
Yeah,
those
it's
are fun.
crazy. But yeah, man, I've been loving it. I'm glad I got into it. You know, I really wish more people would understand the benefits of it and not be so scared of it. You know?
Oh my god, dude!
It even teaches you hand-eye or just regular hand-eye coordination.
Dude,
but
honestly, I'm gonna argue this. I think it teaches you everything you need in life. Honestly,
it does.
Like I think it sounds silly. I was literally the last podcast I was talking to. I don't think I brought it up now that I think about it. I was saying to this girl that there are 2 papers in high school that I've felt proud of that I ever written. One was about media violence, whether like entertainment media stuff like causes real life violence. I was saying it doesn't. I wrote a paper about it. I felt really good about it. Got a good grade. The other one, now I'm remembering, I didn't bring it up. The other one was, if this world would be such a peaceful place if everybody took at least 1 year of martial arts. I don't care what you pick, just like 1 year. Preferably Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu out of bias. But no, like I broke it down why.
I have an argument on that. But
which one?
Taekwondo.
Oh, okay. I want to hear
it. I'm glad that I didn't get into martial arts with a one form thing. Like it feels to me that Taekwondo,
I mean, you're not gonna make me mad. Just tell me straight up.
Purely based on kicks in a world where in a fight they're only gonna throw kicks or something, you know, or jiu-jitsu is only on the ground, right? I'm glad that I kind of did a little bit of all of it at the beginning. I did like a couple months of jiu-jitsu. I didn't go into it too much, but I'm glad I did it, you know, so I at least know what it feels like. Kickboxing for the workout, but I got into the actual like technique of it after that, and I got pretty good. I had a lot of fun with it, you know. So I learned all like how to use all parts of my body, you know, and how hard I can hit and how to keep my shell up and all that if I ever get into a street fight. Muay Thai, for being close range, learning how to sweep people and stuff like that. Just all that kind of stuff. I'm glad I got into all of that in like a clump rather than just a pure kicking discipline.
Yeah.
For me, I did that as a kid and I hated it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what turned a lot of people off of that because they think martial arts, they think karate. You know, and I just feel like it's healthier to use all of your body and almost like simulating that. It's a good discipline, don't get me wrong, in the mental side of it, but in a real life situation, I don't feel like it's everything, you know. And I don't feel like it's good to only do that.
No,
even if you start with it, I think it's better to do other stuff too. You know, just do the all encompassing form of it.
See, I agree, and I have 3 quick like responses to that. If somebody were to come up to me and was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about joining martial arts. I don't know which one to do." I'm gonna ask one of the 3 things. Are you wanting to do it for fitness? Are you doing it for like you want to be a fighter, or do you like legit want to like learn as many as you can? If they tell me fitness, straight up, I'm just gonna tell them like honestly, Taekwondo, or Jiu-Jitsu. Just those 2, one of those 2, or Muay Thai, whatever.
Kickboxing.
Or kickboxing. Here's why. Here's why.
Muay Thai though.
Like, no, I'll say Taekwondo. Like, no disrespect to kickboxing. I don't care. Kickboxing, Taekwondo. Here's why. You're using your legs. Yeah. Most people don't use their legs. When you see the workout like culture, people dread leg day. Taekwondo, kickboxing, it's all leg day. So. And also, like to those listening and watching, hey, you like those lower abs? You want your to have like a flat stomach? People don't realize this. Work out your legs. You're gonna naturally work out your stomach.
Yep,
that's a thing.
It's a core.
Ladies, you want a toned butt? Kick, squats. Those you're gonna naturally do that in Taekwondo and kickboxing. You just will. You can't escape it. Moving on from that. So with fitness, use your legs. Trust me, use your legs. You're gonna have it for that. Jiu-jitsu, I say because like you're gonna constantly be rolling. It's
a lot of core workout.
It's a lot of core.
Yeah.
You're using your whole body. So with fitness wise, that okay, you want to be a fighter. Okay, if you want to be a fighter, we got to get you to learn the specialties of everything. So we got to learn. You got to learn how to punch. Boxing. You're just gonna strictly learn how to only hurt your opponent using your fists. Then kickboxing or Taekwondo. Now you got to learn how to hit your opponents using your legs. You're going to need to sometimes. And now Jiu-Jitsu. You're going to get down to the ground one day. You need to know what to do. So as a fighter, I need you to focus on those 3. Now you just want to learn like as many as you can. You want to be like an overall like just you want to pick up hobbies and stuff. That one's up in the air. That one, it depends on your personality. I do recommend something like Muay Thai where it's all around, it's well rounded. But it depends. There's not one. It's not one for everybody because there's somebody right now. There's an adult right now that's taking Taekwondo, and they love it.
They're loving it. Yeah.
Why? Because of part of the fitness part of it. They're not trying to be like an actual big fighter.
And the discipline.
It's the discipline. It's
a school thing too. When they feel like they're a part of something. Because I remember that when I was in the karate as a kid, I was like, it was cool. It was like a school, and you had the belt system and all that, just like jiu-jitsu and all that. And it was cool being a part of something like that. But it wasn't. I didn't feel like I was like I'm learning how to fight. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm not trying to be like a fighter at all.
Yeah.
But in the sense, like I wanted to feel like I can defend myself if needed. And, you know, when I got into kickboxing, it felt like that was a little bit more useful for me. And I had fun with it because I love kicks. That's just kind of been my forte. You know, I came from a cycling background, you know, so I've been used to just always using my legs. You know, I'm not going to try to rely too much on my punching side of it. So when I got into kickboxing, it was funny. When I first started, it hurt like hell. Like hitting that bag, like hitting those low kicks on the heavy bag, like it stings, you know. But I remember just going to the gym and just try to hit it as hard as I could.
And then you felt so insecure when you would hit a bag and it would barely move. Yeah. And then later it was such an investment when you're able to hit a bag and it actually swings.
It swings. It's like Never Back Down. Remember that movie? Yeah. Where at first it like barely moved and then he just swings it across. I feel like I can do that now, and I can do it quick, and I can do it with like almost. I'm trying to do it lately with no telegraph. Like you can't tell it's coming, you know.
Yeah.
I've been trying to perfect my question mark kicks because I've noticed I've tagged a lot of people with it, and I've surprised a lot of people with that because they don't see it coming, and I'm trying to hide it better and set it up and all that. It's fun. It's like a fun technique of it. But kicking has been my thing, you know. And then of course, kickboxing. So you got to do boxing too, you know. And then Muay Thai was the perfect set that just like blended the two and with like sweeps and elbows,
clinch, elbows, knees, and stuff. Yeah, sweeps. Yeah,
it was like the perfect set. So for me, I had a lot of fun with that, you know. And of course, the one component that I do need to get into, I've been avoiding, is jujitsu. You know, like I did it for a little bit, and I kind of got off the horse of it because, you know, I don't know what got me off, but I do need to get back into it. It's a good discipline, just in case, because all fights, everyone says it ends up on the ground.
It ends up on the ground.
It starts on the feet and ends up on the ground, especially if you're in a bar fight or something.
They
don't know how to fight, and they just like tackle you, and you know, or you trip over a table. You're on the ground. You got to know what to do. So
no, there's this one guy. He talks about this. I love it. All he does is jujitsu, and he's like, "Oh, I don't play anymore." If like he talked about it like. He never done it, but he was like, if I were ever to get in an altercation with somebody, I'm immediately starting on my back and saying, come at me. And they're going to look at you silly, like, did you just get on your back? And you're like signing them to come. No one's going to do that. So it's like, all right, there we go. No fight. Because unless you're willing to meet me at my forte, my arena, then there's no fight. And I just picture that in my head. It's like really silly, but it's real.
I can see it. I've seen that happen before. I remember people talking about kind of stuff like that happening. There was one bouncer who did that. He like got on the ground and like, you know, pulled the guy down with him and stuff.
Yeah.
And it looked weird to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But he got him into like a rear naked choke, and, you know, it was easy for him, but it looked weird, right? And I was thinking in my head, is like, why not also get good at the stand up?
No, yeah.
You know, what's wrong with the stand? Like, why are you afraid of
as a bouncer, though? Like, it is for safety, because even though you're a bouncer, you're not trying to hurt the guy, though. And jiu-jitsu, I will say jiu-jitsu, even though, like, I do love taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, it is the safer of the fighting styles, where you're more in control of your opponent and you of getting hurt.
Yeah, it's good to neutralize who you're facing.
Yeah, so as a bouncer,
you're putting them in a choke, you're putting them in a position where they can't move. That's better for like a bouncer. Like, you know, you're not trying to hurt the person that much.
Especially you can. Like you're closed, you're clinched. You can. You choose not to.
Right. And you have that power.
And then
this all goes back to that confidence, right? That calm confidence that you feel, that I wish more people would experience it, because one, it would stop that weird anger burst that young people have, young kids, young guys have, like in bars and bullshit like that, you know, where they just get in fights for the dumbest things.
Oh yeah.
If they found a way to channel that, and they knew that they could fight, but they're choosing not to, there's that weird sense of like, it's like that's the ultimate badass, right? Joe Rogan talks about that. It's like the ultimate kind of a warrior. You're badass warrior, but you'll never have to use it.
You never have to use it. That's what I went going back to. Those who know how to fight are the first ones generally that they don't want to fight, because they know what they're capable of. But what I was going back to, like how I wrote like this paper about like, oh, the world would be a peaceful place, because I mentioned these 2 points. Like, there's 4 lessons, but it's 2 points, and there's 2 points added, but I'm just going to talk about these 2 points. One of the greatest lessons I've ever learned in life was getting punched in the face, because it taught me 2 things simultaneously. It taught me 2 things right then and there, and I like to hear what you think of it. When I got punched in the face, the first thing I learned was, ouch, this hurts. I don't want to get punched again. Life is going to punch. Life is going to hit you. It will hurt. You need to learn how to block, and you need to learn how to dodge. You just will. No matter what in life, you're just going to get hit. It will hurt. Learn to block, learn to dodge. The second thing I learned, I was able to say, ouch, that hurt. That taught me I'm still alive. I'm still in. I'm not paper thin. I'm not made of glass. I can take a hit. I don't try not to, but I can take a hit. Life's going to hit you. It will tag you. It like you tried your best to dodge. You tried your best to block. It will tag you. It's okay. You're not dead yet. If you're able to say, "Ouch, that hurts," I'm not gonna let that happen again. You're still in the game. Readjust. That's it. So right there, it taught me that life hurts, punches hurts, and you're not weak. You can take a hit.
Yeah. And you try your hardest not to get hit, right?
Yeah,
it's
of
like
course.
It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel
good. But it's
good.
a nice feeling knowing that you can take a hit and keep going forward. That's one thing I learned from me when I first got hit like really hard. These people sometimes, it's always the new fucking people. Dude.
It's always the new
people that don't know how to control themselves, and they're just like scared. They're fidgety, and so when you're sparring, they just kind of like start wailing sometimes, and it's just like, I don't know, like it's. I don't want to be the guy to be like, "Hey, get out of here! Don't do that." So
they're just a big burst of energy, and they just need work to be concentrated to the point where it becomes deadly. Once you're a concentrated force of energy, you're focused, and it hurts more. But right now, when you're new, you're just trying to release your
but
energy.
Also I feel like a little bit it goes on the instructor. They should be telling them, "You're new, don't throw hard." You know. And this, I remember a couple times they've thrown hard, and I got tagged pretty hard, and not out of lack of like or because he was so good and he just tagged me. It was a cheap shot, like it was like a stupid but it was good. I needed that, I had my guard up and I was just kind of putting it down for a second because it was a drill. It was my turn to throw my combo. And he tagged me when he shouldn't have, right? But I'm not going to be like, "Oh, that was wrong. Don't do that," But I took it and continued on and realized like, whoa, holy shit, that kind of hurt. But I'm going to continue going on. I didn't even get phased by it. I'm just going to continue going forward. And it woke me up. All right, keep your hands up. That was a lesson right there. That was a lesson. Yeah. And it was cool to know that I can handle that, Yeah. Not to say like everyone needs to get punched, but I think it's a good lesson. Don't avoid it, and never step into a situation because you're scared of it or whatever. If it happens, you'll learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah, I'm not advocating for you to go out to the world and pick a stranger and be like, "Hey, punch me in the face." No, but just know that like it's okay. If you get punched, it's going to be okay.
A lot of people are stronger than they think.
Exactly. That's
and they're just not in situations that don't allow them to learn that about themselves, right? So
yeah, put yourself in a situation where you can safely, in a concentrated environment, learn that lesson.
Yeah.
That's what I recommend. The second thing I was going to say real quick, and this one kind of goes with jiu-jitsu, but you can learn it in something else, is greatest lesson I've ever learned was getting choked out. Because again, it taught me two quick things. The first one that it taught me was there's always a way out. In any submission, in any chokehold, no matter what, there's a way out. It's not simple though. It's not you do one thing and then you're out. No, there's like 10 steps. But you can't do step number 10 until you do step number 9. You can't do step number 9 until you do step number 8, and so on and so forth. So you got to do 1, 2, 3 and work your way up to 10. And that's a lot like in life, mainly in financial troubles, like, oh, you need money bad. Well, okay, we can get out of this. You're in debt, we can get out of this. But we got to do step number 1 through 10. Don't worry about step number 10 yet. Like, oh man, I really need like 10 grand right now. All right, well, let's work our way up to that. Like, we're not just going to wake up one day with 10 grand. Like, it's not going to happen. So let's work our way up. So that's one thing it taught me. And the second thing it taught me was that there's no such thing as the perfect hold. It kind of goes back to the first one. There's no such thing as the perfect hold. And nothing lasts forever. So just remain calm under pressure and know that there is an ending and it's not perfect. You will get out of it. Like, and then there are moments in life, kind of going back with it, that you can tap out and admit your loss, admit that you lost this one, tap out and reset with your opponent.
Yep.
You lost that one round. You didn't lose the game. You're still in. You're still alive. Just reset.
Yep.
Your pride's going to get hurt.
Right. And that's a huge thing that I'm considering getting back into jiu-jitsu, because When I did it, I remember I was facing this one guy. I forgot what his name was, but I remember when I got in there, I was new, so I was thinking that muscle can get me out of any situation, because I was just like only lifting back then. I wasn't really getting into MMA that much. So I was like, let me muscle my way out of certain whatever moves that they're pulling on me. And this one guy, he was just going light.
Wait, is it this same school when you went with us? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Okay.
And he was just going light. He's a pro. He's just really chill. And I felt that he was like barely even trying, right? And he was letting me do whatever I'm gonna be doing, And he was planning his moves just in a calm way, right? And I was like, I know that I'm about to get fucked. Like I knew it. He's just like letting my squirminess use that against myself, you know what I mean? Like, because that's what happens with people that are just trying to muscle their way through shit, and letting like anger or something like take over ego, like I'm bigger so I can easily do this, and this guy just in 2 seconds just wrapped me up, and that was it. And it taught me a lot. Like, man, one, like it's not about pure strength, it's about technique. And it gave him that leverage. Confidence. He knew that whole time when I was squirming, he probably didn't look great. He probably didn't look like he was winning the role, right? But in his head, he had that confidence knowing that he was.
Yeah.
He was always going to win.
Oh, I've had roles like that.
That chest feeling. Like, all right, just in a couple moves, I'm about to screw you. But you think you're winning right now. Just wait.
Yeah. Real quick, does that dude wear glasses? I think that this guy,
I'm not sure.
Like one of my favorite people, Eddie would know his name. I think his name was Blake. Blake or Blake?
Something with a B.
Blaine exactly. Or Blake. Blaine is either Blaine or Blake.
Yeah,
that one was of my guy. Favorite people to roll with, actually, because man, yes, he had that. He was always so calm.
Yep.
You thought you had it, and
he makes you think you're winning.
Yeah, and I hate that. But I more so love it because it's great because it humbles you. It really does.
It humbles you. Yeah.
And I remember I was on top, and I thought I had it. I was like, yes. And then he was able to choke me out. And then so to the audience, anybody looking, they would have probably thought that I was winning. But then he was able to choke me out from the bottom, and I tapped out silently. I just tapped out. We reset. And I just kept thinking in my head, I'm like, how'd you do that? It was like a magician. I was like, yo, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
But it's from years of practice, technique. Joe Rogan talks about it, saying that they're nerd assassins, those who are good at jiu-jitsu, because some of them are super skinny and they can still tap out some of the muscular guys. Why? Because it's about leverage. It's about pure technique.
You use that muscle and size against them.
It's
crazy.
And that's why, out of all martial arts, I recommend females looking into jiu-jitsu. It's like, yeah, listen, ladies, screw all these Hollywood movies that are trying to say women to hit hard and all that stuff. No, do jiu-jitsu. You will choke a motherfucker out nobody's business.
I need to get back into it. Yeah. I've been just avoiding it,
I do too. Yeah, no, I just don't have time. But when I do, God, Monday, hopefully I get some good news Monday, and we'll talk more about that off camera. But yeah.
It's funny, kind of segueing. There's been a lot of changes since the last time I was here.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's been crazy because I'm in a new job now.
Oh yeah, can we talk about that? All right. So
I remember last time I was talking some really dark
and we had to be vague on some stuff. But now we can kind of be. But I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna let you say it because I don't know how much I'm allowed to reveal. So
I don't think it's anything, because for me, I don't regret anything that I went through with that place that I was at before.
So we're still not even gonna say the place.
I mean, no, I'm not going to.
No, I don't. I just need to know where we stand.
I'm not. There's no point in doing all that. So because I don't have any animosity. Yeah, because I feel like it was something I needed to go through. I learned a lot about myself. I even said it during when I was in it. I was in it, and I was talking about how I had to go through all these barriers in my head and like kind of like depression and it was crazy, man. But I'm glad I went through it, man. It taught me a lot, and it made me so grateful for what I have now. You know, it was crazy. I've moved into the city now. I'm living with my girlfriend now, like, and it's just a whole different scenario. I'm working from home a lot, which is great. I'm still doing.
Do you really like that? Like, I feel like knowing you a little bit, I feel like you wouldn't like that as much. Like, you're a field person.
Well, when we go on shoots, of course, I'm out and about, but it's not as frequent as it was before, which I'm enjoying actually, because it allows me to have time for. Well, first of all, the prep. I wanted to get better at learning how to do pre-pro and stuff like that. Like, you know, doing everything beforehand and honestly not feeling like you just got to go straight to that next one. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, all right, you finished it. Oh, that feels good. And then the next day you got to finish the next one, the next one. And you never have a chance to celebrate. You never have a chance to like enjoy what you just did, you know? So that's what I like about this, that it's a little bit less frequent. I'm not traveling as much. I enjoy travel, but there's a line. You know what I mean?
I would real quick, I would talk about you to some of my coworkers and stuff, be like, oh man, I want to be able to travel for work and all that stuff. And I'm like,
dude, on paper it sounds good.
Yeah, and I talk about you all the time. It's all like, dude, my old roommate hated it. At first it was cool because he's a dude. He got to put that on like online dating profiles and stuff. Like, oh yeah, I travel a lot. But he was like, it gets old real quick,
man. It gave me a lot of stories to tell. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I could say, I mean, it sounds awesome. Oh, I went to Vietnam for this documentary. Oh, I went to New Zealand. I went to Paraguay. I went to all these places, you know. I went to almost every single state in the country too. Yeah. Like, crazy. I haven't been to like South Dakota or North Dakota or Alaska or anything like that. Why go there anyways? But I've been to like weird places like Montana. Yeah. It was a surprise for me. I didn't know that I would love it that much. It was so cool. So I got to see the country in a new way. So that I'm super grateful for that part, you know. But man, I'm so happy where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Dude, I'm happy for you, man. Like, because I was there we were living together and with you and that other job.
It was a good training I went through. I saw it as a school. I saw it as a good training platform for myself, like not just with cinematography and all that, but like also my mind, you know, and learning about myself and all that. But I'm not gonna lie, it did get me a little bit lazy after I was out. Yeah, man, because you get so burnt out, you know, and so like it was weird. After I got out of that, I decided to take a break for a month. I took off a month. Yeah, before I got my new position that I'm at now. And during that month, I didn't want to touch a camera. I was like so burnt out. And I was like, let me just find another way, because I need a creative outlet. Yeah. I need something to do just to keep that part of me going. That's when I love it.
Dipping into music, right?
And I dove into music. It was a new medium that I was like, I've always had that joke, that saying. It was like, if I wasn't a cinematographer, I would have been a musician. And I tried. I was in a band for 2 whatever years, you know.
That was good.
And it was a good time, but I knew that it wasn't going to be like a full-time thing. Like being in a band, that life was probably just never going to be for me, you know. But I love the music part of it. I love like creating and that feeling when you collaborate with people and create that sound, you know. Yeah. So I wanted to like find that again. So I downloaded Logic Pro on my iMac. And then I bought like $100 keyboard just randomly and just started making sounds and noises. And I was like, I want to do soundtracks that I loved when I was a kid, watching movies like Last Samurai and Black Hawk Down and, you know, stuff like really cinematic. I just wanted to try it because it was fun. It was like a hard, you know, it's a good skill to have, but it's hard also to like nail it, right?
Dude, screw audio, man. Ever since starting the podcast real quick, it's just, man, screw audio. Just I like, so I can never be a sound guy. I can never be a music guy.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Screw that. I'd rather be a cinematographer. Screw that.
There's something about when you do create that good sound, man, it like gives me shivers like whenever I feel like I'm creating this. Like, and I feel that when I listen to certain music, you know. So I wanted to create that, and it was a good outlet for me during my break, you know, for that month. I still do it even now, but man, I was so burnt out. But now going back into, and it was funny because like it got me a little lazy even when I started at my my new position, I was like not fully ready to work at some points. I was like still a little bit like in my break mode because I was so burnt. I was like, man, but I needed to go through that, you know. It was a good experience. I'm glad that, you know, I'm at where I'm at now because I feel like I got reignited a little bit. So now I'm back into like the cinematography, you know, inspiration, and I'm still doing the music on the side. It's gonna be for fun, you know. But yeah, man.
Can we say the place that you work at, or you want to keep that private?
No, that's fine. I work at MailChimp now.
Yeah. And like, so what do you do there at MailChimp?
So I work for like the brand studio team there, and I work and basically do all kinds of. It could be internal marketing videos for them. It can be like a trailer for a new type of product that they're doing, any kind of advertisement that they're doing, stuff like that. Like so, and also client stories too. Oh, okay. If they have clients that are there and they have stories of like how the company helped them, we shoot that kind of stuff too. Nice. So
okay, because I know the last time we talked, especially work, you were working on some kind of phone video game or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they got into video games, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's like a new thing that it's called MC Games. And they created this fun little game that came out, and we decided to make a trailer for it. It was like a mix of real life with the actual character of the game. It was like a little dumpling. So we took the dumpling and put it in real life, and like, how would it feel if like the person, instead of a golf ball, it's the character of the video game. And it was fun. It's like we're working on that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's like a fun blend of quirky fun, but still like it requires that cinematography and kind of that movie magic. Yeah. And it's fun to work with those people that have like a little bit of, you're always with a team. That's the biggest part. You know, you're not just out there by yourself, one man banding it anymore.
Oh yeah, because you did that
I did that a lot. And that's one thing about filmmaking that I think it burned me out so much when I was at my other place. And even before that, like when I wasn't with the crew, when I was just doing everything. You remember when I tried that short film and I was doing directing, producing, cinematography, everything, editing too. I got burnt out. I canceled the whole thing. It got too overwhelming. You remember that?
Yeah.
And it still haunts me to this day.
Does it really?
Yeah. Man, I didn't finish it. You know.
I mean, but like, you know, we definitely bit off more than we could chew. But it was a learning experience. It was a learning experience.
I tried to get a crew together, but I knew I couldn't pay everyone. You know, it was supposed to.
And
be
you were trying to one man army it, and that's the other thing, that it does take a team. That's the other thing. I mean, you can learn this through just about anywhere, but like that's the thing I did learn in martial arts. Like it does take a team, even though it's an individual sport. Like at the end of the day, like when you're sparring against somebody, it's just you and your opponent. But you're not just yourself. You're also representing the school, what you've been taught, and all your partners that you've drilled with, your instructors. So it's still a team sport. And some people do have a hard time believing in that. But that being said, you know, I'm willing to bet now that you're more disciplined and you're more, you know, you're not as egotistical. It's not that you were egotistical even back then, but like, yeah, you were trying to muscle it all. But now you won't even think twice. You'd be like, no, I can't do everything. I need you to do A. I need you to do B. Yep. I'm going to handle C. Yeah.
It feels so good to be able to delegate, you know?
Yeah.
Just having a team. And just like knowing that you have, I don't know. It just, everyone, when they all align to a certain goal, you know, and you're all like helping each other, you're like,
when you all have like, a set goal,
like that channel where everyone's talking about how to fix, you know, just giving notes on things and stuff. It's just fun to know that you're not by yourself. Yeah. You know, it's not all on your shoulders. If this thing doesn't look perfect, it's because of you, only you. And it's, you know, it's not that I want to divide the blame, but it's also like, it's cool to know that when we have a finished product, it's a team and I'm a part of that, but it's not just one person, you know, because that's what makes it more fun during the process, you know, because man, I get burnt when it's just me, you know. So that's what I'm getting out of this place, which is great, and I've been loving it. It's just
awesome,
a new energy, you know. It feels just more just in tune with like, and it's just like that feeling of like they give you some space, you know. So
No, because I mean, not like obviously I'm not gonna mention your previous place that you worked at, but no, I remember uh it was only like a couple of months where you realized, or maybe even a year, that you realized that it was rinse and repeat. That you were like, okay, I got this. Like this is the same thing pretty much all the time. And you still being a creative person, it wasn't enough for you. And now you've been at MailChimp for a couple of months now, and it seems like the different projects you're handling are constantly different. Like they're not rinse and repeat.
yeah,
So
already, and I'm still new to
yeah,
everything. So it's pretty cool.
it's scratching that creative part for you.
Yeah.
So
Every project so far has been a challenge and something I really haven't done before, which is great. It's making me think differently. I'm using the equipment too. We're using all new types of gear that I haven't really used before, which is really cool. But yeah, man, it's been awesome.
Dude, that's awesome.
Just knowing that. I don't know. It's also cool because I've been really getting into my passion projects lately.
Mm-hmm. You've been having more time for that. You couldn't at that other place. We talked about this.
It's important for a freaking creative to have time to do what caused them to get into it in the first place, which is passion projects.
Yeah.
Whatever you get into, if it's guitar, if it's any kind of artsy thing, you get into it for a passion of something. You like doing it because of something, right? If you lose that and you just only do it because it's the job and this is how you have to do it because that's the job and the company wants it that way, that's, do it for the job because that's what you're getting paid to do. But don't lose the passion side of it. Still continue to do that. And I lost that with the other place. It was like, just only that.
I wonder if there's some musicians, now that I think about it, because I'll be honest, when I look at a musician, I get a little bit jealous. I'm like, man, I just love music so much, and I'm not a music guy. But I wonder if there's like, is it possible? I'm sure there is, where they're playing music and the passion isn't there. It's just a paycheck.
Maybe.
I don't doubt it, but like, I just hate thinking about it.
It's kind of like cinematographers too, when they're out there and they're with huge big productions and stuff like that with massive cameras, and they're not even touching the camera at this point. They're like a DP, so they're just looking at the director monitor and they're sitting next to the director and they're just like kind of choreographing what to do on like movies or commercials, whatever. But the core of it was when you first started and you were hand holding a small camera and it was just you and the subject, and it was like more intimate and like pure passion, not really huge budget, but that's what like got you into it, that run and gun style. And I hear people on podcasts talking about it all the time, how they lose that and they miss that like guerrilla style, like not too much pressure, just telling a story in a cinematic way and not really having an agency or whatever breathing down your neck, and it's always, I think it's healthy to kind of go back to some of that every now and then,
Yeah.
So
no, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that you need to go back to what got you that passion in the first place, what got you into that field in the first place.
Yeah,
I think that's true.
And I feel like I'm starting to get back into that with some of the passion projects I have in my head right now. Like I feel like I can start to like scratch that.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Just like me, you know me for a long time. You know that like I wanted to be an actor for the longest time. I'm honestly so glad, like how life just churns out, but that I'm no longer pursuing that as as hard. Like we talked off air about it before. We're gonna keep it off air till better news comes out. But anyways, so because now, like I'm trying not to be as too vague, and not that way. It's not just us, but basically like I like the path that I'm on now, especially with the podcast. It still gives me my creative flow, but I'm still pursuing dental hygiene and all that stuff, and I can use this as an avenue to still get my creative scratch out of the way. But then one day you and I, we're going to work on something, and then we're going to get that creative part out. And like, it just basically just feels good knowing that I don't have to subject myself to just one thing. Now I feel like I can actually do a bunch of things.
Yeah, no, it's true. And that same with me too. Like, I'm a cinematographer. That's how I see, like, that's my profession, and that's what I want to do for my career as a professional. But I love knowing that I also have music for a fun creative outlet. I also have just MMA, jiu-jitsu. I mean, not jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai and kickboxing, and
But MMA, yeah. So.
but that's also kind of creative in its own right.
It
you know?
is.
So
it is.
It's I have a lot of different avenues that I could explore, which I don't know. It's cool that I'm not just into one thing. It's good, people talking about you got to be obsessed with that one thing, and I'm sure you're going to be great at that one thing, and that's cool. But like, it is healthy, I think, for your mind to deviate a little bit, like kind of get into something else, because then you could take a break from it, allow your mind to rest for a second from that thing, and then when you go back to it, it's like fresher,
I just want to honestly, like, I forgot where I said this. I just want to be able to do everything, as much things as I can before I die. Like,
yeah, but then don't get into the jack of all trades mindset too. You gotta be careful, because it's good. Don't
hard.
Get me wrong.
I'll be honest with you. It's hard. I'm not gonna
But
flex.
if you want to be a professional at something, I just feel like it's better to like choose a lane.
I see, like, there's an argument to make for both sides. I'm kind of leaning towards the jack of all trades. Like, I want to be able to do. First, I want to be able to try a bunch of things for the first time and see if I like it. Like, this coming fall. I know Megan's probably gonna watch this. I already said it before, but I am gonna go hunting. So like sometime this fall I will, and maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't, but we'll see. But I want to try it. I want to try it at least once, and then and if I do like it, I do want to try to do it on the regular, try to be proficient at it. I don't care. For me, I'll say this. This is just me personally. I'd rather be intermediate in a bunch of things than a professional in like one or two things. I want to be intermediate in a bunch of things.
Okay.
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be a professional in one of two things, but I want to be an intermediate in a bunch of things.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, it's to each their own,
Yeah.
Whatever makes you enjoy
that one
life.
Is quantity over quality, but it's still quality.
Yeah. So for me, I'm the opposite. I like that I found that passion, and I want to be good at it.
Yeah.
Just that drive to be good at that.
My problem is I do have an obsessive personality, and so when I get into it, this, I get into it.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Yep. My girlfriend will tell you. So during my break, I got really into the music.
Yeah.
I mean, just like full blown, like didn't even want to do anything else at some points. And we've had to have some talks. So like having to find that balance.
Yeah.
And it was good. I needed it because I do get obsessed.
I do too.
At my last place that I was working at, it was taking so much of my mental space that I didn't have the capability or even just the mental bandwidth to like get into anything else. But I learned this about myself now that I had that freedom for a second and I dove into that, man, I get obsessed. I really did. I was obsessed with it. I was trying to figure it out and writing that next song and make it perfect. And then I got into, so my latest track that I already finished it, but I'm doing a music video for it right now.
Oh, nice.
Like a visual music video that I'm finding like a lot of like stock footage and stuff. I know that's like blasphemy in the cinematography world, but
I was gonna say, why don't you just like on a weekend
go to Atlanta? I wish I had the time to go film it. And honestly,
wait, do you not really?
Because it's not something you can film. To me, okay, and I'll just tell you the concept I have. It's about space and energy. When I was writing the song, it felt like more of like the introduction to energy, right? And just I called it Catalyst, so it'll be coming out soon. But it's called like a catalyst. So you have like an energy source, and it's like a catalyst to create more of the like just the universe in general.
Yeah.
It was just the feeling that I had when I was writing it, and I was having fun with it, and I was like, oh, how can I do like a simple concept of energy? Like, how can I just do that? And it's so vague. It's hard to like do that. I don't want to like go film a person running. You know what I mean? So I was just searching on the stock footage site.
I mean, that's fine,
and I
because
was
even
having
if you
fun with it.
even if you didn't, how the hell are you gonna get the resource to be able to do that?
Right. And it's like, I don't want to like get a crew together. I don't want to pay, like it's just a fun passion project. Yeah. And honestly, I'm doing it just to promote the song, you know, and honestly, it's a good creative outlet.
Good.
No one can even watch. No one will watch it probably, and I'll still be satisfied knowing that I at least did that because I had fun doing it, you know. But I got really obsessed with it. Man, I did. I was trying so many different versions of it, and I was just like only wanting to do that. I was like not really wanting to do anything social that much. I was like staying hunkered down, and I had to have some good come to Jesus moments to find a balance again. And I feel much better now because I was starting to get scared of it for a while. I was like, man, I want this to be perfect, you know, and now I'm finding the fun in it again. But it's a good lesson, so I can take that for the next project too and not get so obsessed about it.
So let's talk about your music in specifics. So you came out with 2 songs recently. One of them starts with an R. I'm trying to remember.
Renovatio.
I keep wanting to say Revenant, even though I know it's not, but it reminds me of it.
Yeah, it's called Renovatio. It's a Latin term. It just means like rejuvenation. Yeah. You know?
God, so. I'm telling you, Revenant vibes. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, and it was funny because that picture that I posted with the song, it was from Montana, and it was like the perfect, you know, just the fog was coming off of the mountain, and you see like the log. I think it was like a some kind of a log in the water, and I was like, that reminds me of like the boat in the Revenant when it was like floating down the river, you know, the same kind of fog and stuff. And so that's what made me think of like something starting with an R.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, you know, it was cool.
And it was so funny because like I remember like I know you're a great photographer as well, but I remember, God, that looks like a stock. That's something like you would Google, man. Yeah. That's something you would Google, and that's a photo. That's your photo. You know,
that is my photo. All the photos that I posted with my songs are my photos.
Yeah, and which I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right now, dude. You are the best photographer because you're a great cinematographer. All my friends, I'm knocking all my friends right now that go like, oh, I'm a photographer, and then like, you know, I look at their photos, I'm like, you need work.
Oh, God.
You need work because they're not at your level, man. And I'm sorry, like you ruined it for me. Like I see you how you're doing it and stuff, and I'm like, nah. All you that are trying to promote yourself as photography, all you want to do is point and click. That's it. You don't actually try to capture something like legit beautiful. You're just taking a picture of a ocean and be like, oh, look at that. I'm a photographer. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. That means a lot. I mean, so, you know, I was actually talking with my boss recently about this and how I got reignited into the cinematography world. And one of the things that I don't try to get the best picture or the best image or whatever. What I try to do is capture a feeling, the mood of whatever I'm at.
And that Montana photo,
you know what
that
I mean?
one's honestly a good photo.
It's hard to explain. But, and a lot of cinematographers can probably know what I'm talking about, but when you're capturing a photo, when you're out there in Montana, whatever it is, you feel the fog coming off the mountain and you feel the cold. It was kind of cold that day, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, in my head, I'm like, how do I capture this in a way that makes you feel that when you see the photo, right? So that's what it was. And like, that's what I do when I'm taking photos. I think of how do I capture the feeling rather than how do I get this perfect photo?
Like, what am I looking at?
Yeah, I'm just capturing a feeling. That's all it is. Damn. Most of what I do is capturing feelings and emotions. I'm not trying to get the perfect shot.
Yeah.
Perfectly lit, perfectly exposed, right? Technically on paper, it's perfectly exposed. That's great. But did you capture the right feeling for that? Mm-hmm. You know, especially for like actors or something, you know?
Let me
Like,
ask you, do you ever, because one of my favorite things, I used to do this on going on YouTube. It was watching these like crazy wildlife photographies. They're some of my favorite videos where they have to like wear like super raincoats. They have to get bags. They have to get in a weird position just to get a shot. Do you ever do that?
no, I haven't really gotten too nitty
I
gritty
mean,
with
I figured as
all
much.
that. That's just the type of shoots I've been doing. It hasn't been too crazy like that.
Oh
I
no, I'm talking
would.
about like just in general. Like, have you ever done that?
What, like suit up, like
Yeah,
what?
like have you ever seen those like wildlife photographies,
Yeah, where they
the
like put on the suits and they go in like the
like
swamps.
raincoats and stuff, and they have to get like they have to like just almost like a sniper sometimes, like
Yeah,
they have to like really prone and just to get these like crazy shots and stuff
yeah.
like that. Have you ever had to do any of that?
Kind of. Yeah, like a hunting thing. I
Yeah.
remember one time it wasn't like he was out there doing like a hunting scene. One of our clients one time, and we were out there in the woods, and I had to like go into the woods with him with like an ATV and all that, and I had to like dress up with the boots and the full like suit,
Mhm.
just so that way I don't get dirty. And yeah, I get out there. The main thing is the whole time, and this is what gives me that confidence also when I'm out there, because you have to have that level of confidence when you're with a client and you don't really know what you're getting into when you're going out there. There's run and gun shoots. How do I capture this feeling? How do I capture this story, but in like, but keep the emotion in the sense like these shots, right?
Yeah.
That's what keeps me going in that. If I lose that, if I'm literally just like, I got to get this shot, this shot, this shot, and I'm good. Check, check, check. Then that kind of loses it for me,
Yeah.
So I've had that like guiding me for a long time. I watched this one documentary. It was called the plane volcano or the plane volcano pilot or something like that on Vimeo. Really good. And this guy went out there with like a 5D Mark II or something. It was like a really cheap DSLR camera. And he even said it in the description that he had never really like shot before. He didn't know what he was doing, but he reached out to this guy in Iceland. And he was like, hey, can I just like tag along with you and like tell your story? And like, it'd be just fun. I have no idea what I'm doing, but it'd be cool. And he totally welcomed him.
Nice.
And so he just went out there for 2 weeks, and this guy invited him into his home. He was able to film him with his family, having fun with his friends, going up in the plane, shooting like over these amazing landscapes, because he's like a volcano pilot. So he like flies over volcanoes, and I guess they use that to like study the volcanoes to see like how it is. I'm not sure what it is,
stuff like that probably.
Oh, also no, he takes people up to see the volcanoes. That's what it is. And so he like sees people's reactions, like tourists and stuff like that. It's like the helicopter rides, right?
Yeah.
And he just decided to tell the story, and he didn't really know what he was doing. In the description, he said like he didn't really know how to film it. He had no idea what he was doing, and the shots weren't perfect, right? But they had feeling. You can feel the emotion in the shots. It was a little shaky, but you can see like you felt the feeling with the music, with the tone and everything. It wasn't the perfect shot, but man, you felt it.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I'm going after.
Yeah.
I'll take that any day over the perfect shot.
Okay, so no lie, we have like around I wanted to go for 2 hours. We're an hour and 27, I believe. So we got around like 10 more minutes. So real quick, so is that an advice you would give to like those doing photography? Is just stop trying to get the perfect shot first. Just try to capture a feeling.
I don't know. So because people get into
Or does it
photography
depend?
and cinematography for different reasons, like you're working for an
But I
agency.
agree with
like,
that though.
you
Like
have
I'd rather get the feeling over it looking great.
No, yeah, and that's what the core of it is for me, right? That's where the passion comes from, because it gives me that feeling and I want to capture that, right?
Yeah.
But like, of course, if you're working for like an agency and people see it differently, they just want to get that perfect shot.
Yeah.
They want the perfect lighting and all that. So you got to do those to like, get the bills paid and stuff. But like, yeah, I mean, if your core is that, more than, and some people like it for the technical side of it. They want to study the lighting perfectly. They want to study the right exposure perfectly. They want to study and it's good to have as like a tool, because I know that stuff. Like I'm still learning. I'm always a student in this field, you know. But it's like it's good to know that you also have that thing you're chasing after, which to me is feeling, you know.
Yeah.
If you don't feel anything with your shots, if they're just, you know, a point and shoot situation, and yeah, you could say the lighting is perfect, but did you feel anything as you like, you know, with the camera movement, or maybe it was a little out of focus for 1 second, and it gave it that feeling of imperfection, right? But it made that scene a little bit more interesting for a second. You know?
I hate shaky cams, but whatever. But
I'm just saying, like, I give it an example, like camera movement or whatever. You know,
that reminds me of our first episode where you were talking about that. Even you being a great cinematographer, that if you watch a movie and you can say, man, that was a great shot, but you can't talk about what the movie was about, then you didn't do a great job, because you focused so hard on getting that great shot that you took away from like the story. It should be a balance. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I'm not taking away anything from the technical side, because they're masters, you know? And they'll make anything look pretty, but
it's still a team effort.
It's a team effort, and you don't want to have that ego to be like, I'm doing this to get the perfect pretty shot. Like, you got to do it also for the overarching, like, I'm doing it for the feeling, and you're honestly doing it to entertain, right? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
Yeah, no, dude, honestly, that messed me up. And I still remember that was last year, dude.
Yeah, I know.
And I still remember that. Yep. I remember my episodes. And that messed me up, because ever since then, every now and then I would watch something and then I'd be like, wow, that was a great shot. Then the next night I'll wake up and I'll be like, man, that was a great shot. Wait, what was it about again? Oh, that time Steven said that. Like, the cinematographer worked too hard to get that one shot that they took away from the story.
Yep.
The one that comes into mind right now is the Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, where that hyperspeed scene where
the one where it looked cool, but it was totally like that.
But I don't remember the whole movie like at all. Like it was trash. I mean, it was a trash movie to begin with, but
you remember
I remember that shot. Because they focused so hard on that shot that they took away from the story. Yeah.
No, it's what it is for me, and I'm glad I still have that. You know, because I'm not gonna lie, when I was, you know, burnt out, I was scared. That's like the scariest feeling when you're a creative, and that's like your job, and you feel the flame going down. Because you're just so tired. You know, man, it feels good to have it back again. I feel like just more. I'm ready, man.
Dude, that's awesome. So what's like you're working on the music video. So that's good. When ballpark it, when do you think? I'm not trying to rush you or anything. This is your project. When do you think people are gonna be able to see it? What are you personally aiming for?
My goal is by next week.
Oh, really? That soon? Shit,
yeah, I mean, I've been working on it for too long. I gotta get it out there.
How long have you been working on it?
About 3 weeks or so, almost a month.
Dang. You think you're almost there to?
I'm trying to be. Yeah, I'm trying to give myself a good deadline so I can freaking push myself. You know?
No, you were the one that told me about that. It's like, yo, you need to set deadlines.
I can't have something in the back of my head knowing I didn't finish something. You know, I'm a goal oriented person that like. Sometimes I feel like I have to earn things in order to enjoy it.
Oh yeah, same.
Like even on
that
a weekend,
way you don't feel guilty about
this, you know, or I didn't earn this weekend because I didn't work hard enough or something. You know, sometimes I get that.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things. It's been lingering in the back of my head for too freaking long. Like I gotta get it done. So I'm gonna try to get it out, and move on to the next one. The next one will be like way more small.
Yeah.
I can't do huge projects that all the time, man.
Dude, I just can't wait till I get into it, because don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful for the podcast. I'm so grateful for anybody that wants to be on it. Yeah, I want everybody and anybody on it. It's great, but at the same time, like I do miss when you and I would work together and we would talk about like projects we could do. And oh man, I can't. And you already know this. Again, we talked about it behind the scenes, like that we're gonna get into a position we'll be able to work more. And I can't wait for that day. I think about it every day. I can't wait for it.
No, man, I mean, I'm excited too. It's gonna be awesome. It's cool to see how far it's come already.
Yeah.
Just wait until like give it a couple more years.
I know.
It's gonna be
It
awesome.
sucks to say that, but it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but it will happen. That's something you just have to accept.
Yeah.
Mainly me. So Steven, all right, we might as well come to a wrap, but tell people where to follow you, where to see your stuff, your music, your work.
Yeah, so I mean, I mainly use my Instagram right now. It's just S Ceballos with 2 S's at the end. So S and then my last name with an extra S at the end. And then I have my YouTube channel, Steven Ceballos. Pretty easy to find. Are you gonna link this stuff?
Yeah. But I still want you to say it.
Yeah. Just my YouTube channel and stuff. And then I also have my Vimeo, Steven Ceballos as well on there that we can link. But those are the main 3 platforms that I use.
And that documentary, real quick, man, I'm mad that we didn't talk about it a little bit because it just popped into my head. Chang, right?
Kang.
Kang.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm racist. Kang. Oh man, I'm mad that we didn't get to talk about that. But that, honestly, that's a great. Wow, like that's a great documentary. And no, I'm actually not mad that I didn't mention it. People go watch it. It's on your Vimeo.
It's on my Vimeo, yeah.
Yeah, go watch it. It's good. It's really well done. You're gonna be like, this was a huge production, but like you did it with how many people? It was you and one other person?
Yeah. I mean, I filmed most of it with the 2 other cinematographers that came by for like a day or so. I edited the whole thing myself. I had a producer that was kind of helping me, but I kind of came up with everything. I did all the interviews, everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you
muscled
that.
that.
Was a big.
I remember that, like coming into the apartment, you were working on that every now. Oh man, that was crazy. All right, so Steven, it was great to have you. Man, obviously,
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, obviously, we're gonna have you back on anytime, all the time. All right, well, that's it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Peace.